Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Gomez and I am a part of Teen Cancer America as one of their teen cancer survivors of leukemia. And today we're speaking on the importance of adult and young adult facilities, programs, research groups, more specifically ones dedicated and knowledgeable about adult and young adult cancers. For instance, I've been struggling with sleep deprivation since my treatment, going on 12 years. I was 14 at the time and now I'm 27. I struggle very much with this issue and I have been searching for a psychiatrist. I really would love to speak to somebody who has talked to other cancer survivors because they will understand and be able to relate to me a little bit better than somebody who has never treated or talked to somebody who has gone through cancer, because it is such a big ordeal and something really big to deal with for the rest of your life. And I've been struggling even just to find a psychiatrist, even with insurance. So these programs I feel are very important. They could offer different classes, different tools to get us back into our daily lives, transitioning us from patient to a member of society again, teaching us things like how to manage your taxes or different little avenues that could really be beneficial for us, not only as individuals but as a community, because there's not just one of us, there's so many of us that could benefit from these programs that are not readily available. Some are available, but we don't really know about them. Even talking to a significant other about your treatment and what you've gone through with cancer can be quite difficult. A lot of the times, from my own experience, I have found that talking to my significant other about my treatment hasn't always gone the best way. It has gotten better over time, but it's almost a little too uncomfortable for some people to actually grasp the fact that this is real and this really happened to a person like myself. It was really difficult to get that message across and to feel understood in the beginning. It was almost like I had to beg to be able to tell my story to my significant other, and that can be very hard too, because then you just kind of feel like that person doesn't really care to know about you. But after some time and communication, it's apparent that obviously these topics can make people uncomfortable, and it takes some people a little longer to warm up and open up just as much as you might be opening up to them. And that's something that can be hard to deal with as a cancer survivor, because it's not like you can just hide your life. It is something real, and it's something that did happen to you, and unfortunately you may run into some people that aren't the most understanding about it right away, because maybe they haven't gone through it themselves, or it's just very difficult to understand sometimes from an outside point of view. So having somebody to talk to who has dealt with other cancer survivor stories or cancer patients would be a lot easier for someone like myself to speak to, because I would know that my message is getting across and that they do understand. In that sense, I have definitely learned my lesson, in that just because I'm ready to open up about my life and my story, that may not mean that everybody else is willing and open enough to hear it or to understand it. And that's okay. It's something that you just have to go through in life. It may not just even be a significant other that you're trying to open up to about your experience, but it might be a friend or a family member. And that can also be hard for other friends and other family members as well. Not to mention that through treatment, I have really been able to see who my true friends are and who aren't. And that is due to the fact that A lot of them didn't talk to me after treatment or during treatment. A lot of people didn't know how to talk to me. I'm sure that's part of the reason. Nonetheless, it doesn't mean that I didn't need their support or want their support. I was looking for it. And even till this day, those people are no longer in my life, which is a hard lesson to learn also, because you're not only losing a part of your life at that time, but you're losing people in your life. And not to mention the fact that I was isolated. I wasn't able to go to family functions or parties that friends had. Also, I was only in ninth grade and I was only there for 10 weeks. I didn't have anybody's phone number. I didn't have anybody's, I think it was MySpace at the time. I didn't have anyone's website address or things of that nature to contact anyone. Nobody knew what happened to me at school. I just disappeared off of the planet. It's just like, poof, she was gone. I was gone. And I didn't have that connection with my classmates at that time. And when I returned to school, it didn't go over well either. People didn't know how to talk to me. They were already in little cliques. I didn't really fit in anywhere. And it's not like I kept up to date with the latest trends or movies or bands. I couldn't talk about any of that. I had nothing to talk about except for treatment, medications, and times of when I needed to take my insulin and when I needed to go to the nurse to get my chemo. Or, I mean, it wasn't, I'm sure, the most fun to talk about with other kids. So they didn't know what to ask me. I didn't know what to talk to them about. For a while, I would come home in tears. I wanted to switch my school. Again, I had a lot of classmates and ignorant students at the school that would ask me outrageous things like, is cancer contagious? Why would you walk up to me and ask me if cancer is contagious, first of all, if you didn't want to catch it and you didn't know? And student used to call me Cancer as a nickname, which was horrible at the time, not funny. Other girls would tell my friend, what happened to her? How come she got really fat? Or why did she cut her hair? It looked so much better long. Or why are your cheeks so red? Because they were so red from the chemo. And so I already have big cheeks. Imagine on steroids. I blew up a little bit. Just a little bit. About 50 pounds I blew up in a month. Oh boy. All the little side effects and everything that happens with cancer. For these reasons, we could really use specialized programs to help us through these difficult times and help us transition into our daily lives and be able to connect with other teens and young adults who are going through the same or similar issues. Not to mention throwing hormones in the mix. As a teenager, your body's changing, everything around you is changing, and now you have cancer and your whole world is upside down. Programs like these could really help us become united and provide a sense of support for us when you feel that you don't have any. So for this reason, please let's honor adult and young adults and educate our communities about these important issues that we have at hand. Go Teen Cancer America!